Okay, we're going to make a video of my son's DB10 110cc from Tae Tae Motorsports. I purchased this in July. I think it was delivered around the 23rd or something. Probably for the first 3 months, we averaged maybe a couple times a week that he was out riding it, and on pretty flat surfaces, kind of getting a handle on things, learning how to ride it. I can definitely tell you that if you're purchasing one of these, they're great bikes. They do have some flaws. It seems like I had to discover all of those flaws in a short amount of time. It wasn't till I started taking my son on a more aggressive track that the little things started to pop up. Now it seems like we have everything pretty much dialed in. I did upgrade the tires on it, much more aggressive, much wider than originally came on the bike. I did install a larger performance carburetor from ygostock.com. Made a drastic difference in the throttle response of the bike. It'll definitely pull hard out of the hole. The next thing we did on flat ground, pretty much the sprockets will do just fine. But if you're going to start doing any real hill climbing, the stock sprocket will work, but it's not the best setup. So we have upgraded here just a couple weeks ago a new front sprocket with 13 teeth rather than 14. We put a brand new chain on it as well. I can tell you that if you're riding really aggressively through really hills and whatnot, paying attention to the bushings in the rear swing arms. I just put last weekend, new bushings in the rear, and just tightened everything back to factory specs in it. You definitely have to go through and check all your bolts and torque constantly. Pretty much every time that you ride, and I will definitely keep track of the axle nut bolts and the suspension bolt here for the rear swing arm. But another thing on these, when a kid is first learning how to ride this, he's going to dump this thing over about 50 times, especially if he's taking any turns. And here on these shrouds, originally they had the cheapest plastic I think that was in China, that was anchoring these side skirts on. I took those off and put steel brackets in, and we've not had another problem with it. You just have to every once in a while check and make sure that the nuts or something didn't come loose. The yellow pinstriping is just yellow electrical tape. It peels right off. And then it has the factory stickers that it came with it. He added some orange here on the bottom, but that's just electrical tape. So what we did wind up doing, because the kids are constantly, when they fall over, this originally was out a whole nother inch, and basically that was like driving down the road with a 2x4 crossways because it would catch every single thing, and it was constantly getting bent. And this is a complaint on a lot of the stuff that I seen. And so, well, we've gone in and shortened this up by an inch, and also added the brake snake, and now he hasn't bent this one time. So we got that fixed. I've got a new air filter that I'm going to put on it. We just washed the bike up, but this is the performance carburetor, and I do have, which were warranted, a new set of front shocks that are coming. They've rattled since the day that I got this thing, and I was able to get them to replace it. Just with the coronavirus, it has been really tough trying to receive. Some parts I can get really quick, some not so much. It is fully automatic, and it's got an electric start. It runs really well. So he's had an absolutely wonderful time on it since he has had it. The thing is he is actually outperforming the bike's capabilities at this point, and it has been by sheerly riding and taking him on different terrain that his learning curve has been exponential. Obviously, I've got mine over there, and now that he's riding with me, he's just really growing. So another little stupid thing that I found out on this bike is the rear brake and the way that it was originally adjusted from the factory, that if you go over any jumps or anything, this rear brake, the rear brake, as that rod runs across, what would happen is that when you would start to drop on that suspension from a jump or something, that it would naturally engage the rear brake. And it's just because of the mechanical setup that it has. And what I wound up doing is I adjusted this. I took this loose and slid it forward, which gave this more room to move when the suspension is depressed, and now it no longer engages the rear brake by itself because of the flexing of that suspension. And he still has nice brake operation. So and it was just a matter of adjusting how they had it from the factory. But I mean, the bike is what, 4.5 months old, and it really has performed phenomenally for what I would call a cheap, inexpensive motorcycle to get started. Again, I am upgrading him to the DB14 next, before he moves on to maybe a Husqvarna 65. So again, this is a 2020 DB10 from Tae Tae Motorsports with a 110cc fully automatic. That is going to be for sale. The only catch is going to be I can't let it actually go until like the 23rd or 24th, because he's going to suspect something. But I'll work that out with whoever. So anyway, hope you liked the video, and maybe you'll give me a call on the bike.